asking, Rabbi, I'm 30 years old. I'm still single. Okay, B'ezrat Hashem, you get married soon. Is it worth to keep looking for a wife since the world is about to come to an end? Who told you the world's about to come to an end? Or should I focus on working, getting closer to Hashem before Mashiach arrives? Okay, Daniel, no one knows when the world is going to end. Even though sometimes you'll hear a speaker say, listen, the end is near. It doesn't necessarily mean that they think the end is going to come tomorrow. And even if they say that, they're simply saying, they're speculating. No one knows when the end is going to come. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu specifically made sure that we don't know when the end is going to be. Why? Because if we knew when the end is going to be, that would remove our free choice. And we would start living our life very differently than we would live normally. What HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us is to fulfill the Torah to the best of our ability every single day. As if this is the last day, as if this is the most important day, as if this is another day. Each one of us is obligated to fulfill the mitzvot each day. You have to pray, you have to learn Torah, you have to eat kosher food, you have to give tzedakah and so on and so forth every day. You have to do the best you can. Now, if you're doing all of the good things that you're doing, and the Mashiach ends up arriving tomorrow or next week or next year or in 10 years from now, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Why? Because you were prepared every day, because you did your best every single day. But if you live your life as if the world is going to end next week, then what if it doesn't end? Then what ends up happening is that not only did you not fulfill a lot of mitzvot because of that, such as getting married, having children, studying a certain amount of Torah, living life like a normal person, but on top of that, you'll be disappointed that you were wrong. And that disappointment can cause you to lose your connection to Hashem. That's why there's the Rambam writes in the Igeret Teman, in a letter that he wrote to Jews of Yemen, that some of the most destructive people that ever lived were the false messiahs. Surely the worst one among them is Yeshua Notzri, Jesus of Nazareth, but also there was Shabtai. He doesn't mention Shabtai Tzvi, he mentions others, but there was a whole book about false messiahs, and one of them was Shabtai Tzvi, the guy Frank after him, and so on and so forth. But the Rambam writes of different false messiahs that were during his life. During his life, that each and every single one of them, he writes this in details of the. You could read I'm sure you can find it on the internet or buy a book. That's the letter called Igeret Teman. It's the letter that Rambam wrote to the Jews of Yemen. It's a very long letter. And he tells them a whole thing about different messiahs that either he witnessed or his father witnessed and fought against and so on. And he says the constant, the common denominator among all of these false messiahs is that it always ends in a disaster. Either this false messiah convinces everybody to, waste all their money, give him all their money, or go borrow one of them during the time of the Rambam got the Jews to borrow a bunch of money from the Goyim and use it for different things, and they ended up putting everybody in in harm's way because they couldn't pay it back, and now the Goyim started killing them because of that. Another one led them to the wrong place. It was always a disaster. Literally, one of them, they revolted against the government. The government started killing a bunch of them. So all of these false messiahs always end in a disaster. Don't live your life as if, listen, the world is going to end next week, I should just prepare for the end. No. Live your life as you're fulfilling the entire Torah today. The best that you possibly can. Whatever mitzvah is in front of you, that's the one that you do. If you could learn today, you learn today. You could pray today, you pray today. Give tzedakah today, you give tzedakah today. If you're going to eat, you eat kosher. If you could find a wife, that's what you do. You have kids, you have kids. You have to. The Torah is there as an instruction for life, not instructions for Mashiach. not instructions for death. It's instructions for life. Hashem gave us the Torah to live by it, not to die by it. So you have to fulfill the Torah based on life being there. When Mashiach comes. Now, of course, the world is heating up, and it is definitely messianic times. It's troubling times, but that does not put us in a situation where we don't need to fulfill the Torah. We still have to fulfill the Torah. If you're a single man, one of the things you have to do is go find yourself a wife. A nice, righteous wife that's going to build a Torah home with you, perhaps even give you some good kids. They're going to fulfill the Torah. You have yourself a continuation. In fact, one of the things for that young woman that asked earlier about Chibut HaKever, the punishments of what happened in the grave, a person that dies, a Jew that dies without sons, wow, what a punishment he gets. What a punishment he gets. And he could have had sons. Not that he tried and Hashem simply didn't give him sons. A person that was able to get married, was healthy, and even had a wife, but simply decided not to try, didn't want to have kids, didn't want to have any more sons. What a punishment that person gets for not having sons. Hashem yishmor v'yatzil. People think that you only get punished for violating Shabbat and wasting seed. People don't understand how precise the judgment is in Shamayim. So do not, under any condition, miss out on a mitzvah that you can do. Do whatever you can to fulfill it. You're a young man, you have the whole world in front of you, you need your other half. Whatever Torah that you're learning is not a complete Torah without having a wife. You have to find yourself a wife, a good, righteous wife, do the best that you can. B'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send it to you. Once you have a wife, B'ezrat Hashem, do your best to have kids. Once you have kids, B'ezrat Hashem, make sure that you have shlom bayit, you educate those kids, you give them a good Torah education, and so on and so forth. Prepare your life that way. Do tshuva every day that way. That way you are prepared for the time of Mashiach. But to think that preparing for Mashiach, it can be done in any other way, is delusional thinking. And it's wrong thinking. It's not Torah thinking. People are saying, oh no, I'm going to go move to Israel because Mashiach is coming soon. Or I'm going to go build myself a bunker because Mashiach is coming soon. That's not the way to prepare for Mashiach. To prepare for Mashiach is to do complete tshuva and fulfill all of the possible mitzvot that are in your hand. That's the way to prepare for Mashiach.